Hello everybody and welcome back to the podcast. As you can tell, we're drippy today. We are taking over the swag, cannot be stopped on TikTok. We've gone over to Instagram, we're taking over Instagram, we've gone over to YouTube. YouTube has been swagged up. I'm so proud of everybody who is following me, who is a part of Swag Nation. In today's podcast, I'm gonna give you updates on honestly just my life. On what is going to happen next for me and I guess this channel and my content in general. And also we'll be talking about our favorite anime scenes, just scenes that stood out to you and stood out to me in person. So this should be a fun one. The Merc will take it away with a new single. I hope you enjoy it and welcome back to the School of Hope.
They would never take it from me. They was laughing like something was funny. Now they act bummy when they see me coming, hopping on my dick like bunnies. Wanna piece it up with me now that they see my road is sunny. Bitch, I'm elevated. I'ma need an elevator.
And we are back. Hello everybody, welcome back. It's been a while. Also, sorry if I'm dripping on you too hard. I just, I have to do it to y'all. I have to do it to y'all. The swag cannot be stopped. I just cannot contain it. And ever since I got this jacket, this accessory, this piece right here, I just cannot help myself. So I apologize for everybody who is currently drowning. I guess I have to take full responsibility. Speaking of which, we have been dripping all over TikTok. SwagTok, drip talk. The swag jutsu is, it seemingly cannot be stopped. I'm seeing so many videos of you guys on TikTok, videos I'm being tagged in of I don't know, just people in different countries from all over the world doing the swag trend. It's become a trend now. And it's currently, it has been big in Southeast Asia. I'm seeing lots of people do it now in, for example, Russia or where else? South America, I've seen a lot. So yeah, it's still taking over. We're still going strong. But yeah, it's been so much fun. I've been getting so many tags, and there are so many artists and animators who are recreating my videos in their own style with their own animations, which is amazing. I cannot draw, I cannot animate. So seeing those things is just, it's an honor. I do feel really honored, especially when people tag me in those, and especially if the artists mention me. That means a lot to me. So I really, really appreciate all of that, all of the love I've been getting on TikTok. And yeah, I guess the recent growth on TikTok has also been translating to my Instagram, which has been, exploding. I never really understood Instagram too much. I also didn't put too much time into Instagram because, my main focus was always TikTok. But, ever since so many people have been flooding onto my Instagram and, have been following me and liking my content over there, I've been putting more effort and thought into what I post. Even though, it might not seem like I'm putting lots of effort and thought into those, but I do. And I'm really happy to see that you guys are also enjoying my Instagram. You're enjoying my, my random pictures I'm posting every day. So yeah, TikTok has been always really fun for me, but Instagram is becoming more and more fun for me as well. Especially since I'm, putting more thought into it. And I'm also, starting to upload more reels. It's still, it's my old TikToks, but I'm uploading them to Instagram reels. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and I'm really happy to see that you guys are enjoying my Instagram as well. Not as much as my TikTok, obviously, but I also feel like it's so much harder to grow on Instagram, right? Compared to TikTok, because Instagram doesn't really push out your content. It doesn't, except for reels maybe, but your posts and whatever, that doesn't get pushed out, I feel like, at all. So yeah, Instagram has always been a huge mystery for me personally. But moving on. So for more bigger news, I have or I am currently in the midst of quitting my current full-time job. For everybody who doesn't know, I have been working a full-time job. I worked in video marketing here in Germany for a bigger company. But you know, I feel like my platforms and, you know, especially on my TikTok, but now more Instagram and YouTube as well, it has grown so much that I feel like I want to put my all into it. I just want to, I don't know, I want to just try to turn this into something that can sustain me, that can grow into something special. You know, building my own platforms has been tough. It's a lot of work, but it's also so much more rewarding than working for a bigger company. And, you know, obviously working for a company, it gives you stability. It gives you, you know, a regular income, which TikTok and the other platforms don't necessarily right now for me. So I'm working on that. It's much more, it's much less stable, but a lot more rewarding, I feel like. And it could, you know, it's just, I feel like it's just what I want to do. It's what I've always wanted to do with my life. So I feel like now is the time to take the step, to take the plunge, to go all in on what I'm doing currently. And that is what I'm currently doing. And, you know, it is scary. It is scary to leave something stable behind, to, you know, go into murky waters, especially with TikTok, which is not very transparent, especially with trying to build basically my own business from the ground up. So yeah, we shall see how it works out. I am nervous, but I'm also really excited for the opportunity. And yeah, I mean, we shall see. But that is currently going on. And because of that, I've been super busy the past, the past few weeks actually, but especially this week, which is why this podcast has been delayed so much. You know, I usually upload my podcast every Monday and Wednesday, but because it has been so busy, I just haven't been able to record one. So I'm doing one for Friday, and I think for the following weeks, we will be doing a podcast every Monday and maybe Thursday or Friday, like just twice a week, two videos for YouTube per week. Just right now, because it's gotten a lot, and it will be a lot for me in the coming weeks while I'm in this transition period from like my full-time job into TikTok and my other platforms, obviously. But yeah, I apologize for the delay. I wanted to upload one this Wednesday, but geez, I've been working until like late AMs, and it's just been a lot for me. So I hope you can understand, but I will do my best. You know, obviously you'll be getting a podcast twice a week. That's not going to change, but I think I'll be moving the podcast dates to like every Monday and Friday. I think those are good times for me, and it'll also give me more stuff to talk about, because if it's every Monday and Wednesday, there's just one day space between Monday and Wednesday, and it doesn't give me a lot of content, so to speak, to talk about to you. But I feel like, you know, if there's like a whole week in between, it'll just give you and me more to talk about. So speaking of things to talk about, we have to talk about the video game tournament, which has been progressing well. We are currently in the, let me quickly look it up. Jeez, it's so hard to do this with one finger. That's what she said. So for everybody who doesn't know, on my Instagram channel, I have started a video game character tournament, which basically means you guys have submitted your 32 favorite video game characters, and we're having them face off in a single elimination tournament tree. So everybody fights against each other, and we're currently in the final stages. Let me look up the tournament tree. I'm also going to link it down in the comments below for you to follow along. But I believe we are approaching the semifinals. Yeah, so this is the last match before the semifinals. And the last 2 matches were between Steve from Minecraft and Doomslayer. And honestly, I just feel like Steve is going to win this entire thing because Steve again won. He got 10k votes compared to 8.4 for Doomslayer. And the other match was Charizard versus Sub-Zero. And Sub-Zero actually won with 10k votes compared to 7.6 for Charizard. I'm surprised with that. I did not think Sub-Zero would win this. That is an upset in my opinion, but maybe not so much. But I thought Charizard would win this. That's crazy. Anyways, so that leaves us with the semi-final matchups between, let me look it up so I don't give you any wrong information. The semifinals will be between Sonic the Hedgehog and Kratos, and the other match will be Sub-Zero versus Steve. So the next 2 matches, the next 2 semifinals will be up on my Instagram. If you want to vote, just jump over to my Instagram stories. You'll be able to vote for your favorite character to win, and we shall wrap this tournament up pretty soon actually. And for my next tournament, I have already decided on doing a anime waifu tournament. So you guys will be voting for your favorite anime waifus, which should be very interesting. Alright, so much for all the updates for today. So what I wanted to do today is something we've done before. It's to talk about our favorite, or more, especially your favorite anime scenes. So scenes and moments in anime that have really, resonated with you, touched you, or just stood out. And we've done this before, and it was a lot of fun because I'm also really interested in what kind of anime you're interested in, what kind of anime you watch, and what moments were important to you. And we will start off with The Merc, who does our intro and outro songs, and his favorite anime scene is when Might Guy activated the 8 gates versus Madara. Dude, that scene, since season 1 of Naruto, we have heard about the 8 inner gates. When Rock Lee fought against Gaara, and he opened I think it was the 5th gate. And that was crazy because Rock Lee at that moment was just a Genin. And for a Genin to open 5 gates is absolutely insane. And obviously, he took life-altering injuries from that. Yeah, well, not so much, I guess, from opening the 8 gates. He was severely wounded from opening the 8 gates. But I guess when Gaara crushed his bones, that was, the nail in the coffin. But yeah, that was insane. So these 8 gates have been built up from like the very first season of Naruto. And we were always wondering what would happen if someone opens the 8 gates, like how invincible would they become? We've seen Guy open like 6 gates. But we've never seen Guy go to 8 gates. We've never seen anybody go to 8 gates before. So when Might Guy finally opened the 8th gate versus Madara during the Shinobi War, that was such an epic moment. Like, just because it's been built up so much, and to see Might Guy just absolutely crush Madara into the floor. Granted, I feel like Madara was curious too. Madara wanted to see what the extents of the 8 gates are, because I'm pretty sure he's also never seen the 8 gates like in person. Maybe he's heard of it, but it seemed like he has never fought against the 8 gates. They're just taken from, what he said to Might Guy. And Might Guy was the first one to lay some serious hits on Madara. Even if Madara was not fighting with all his power, was more like limit testing, so to speak. It was still really cool to see, really epic to see. And I also feel like I would not have been mad if Might Guy died. if, you know, he laid some serious hits on Madara and then just, you know, did what we all knew what was going to happen. He, you know, died from opening the 8 gates. But no, I guess he didn't. I guess Naruto saved him. He put a seal on him and he survived, and which is fine. That's fine. But I would have also not been mad if that was Might Guy's final hurrah. If that was like his final exit from the Naruto universe. But yeah, he survived, and that was definitely an epic moment. Baby girl Carrot's favorite moment is Luffy fighting against Doflamingo. And you know, honestly, the fight against Doflamingo has to be one of my favorite fights in all of One Piece. That one, and maybe Luffy versus Crocodile. But I just feel like these fights were so epic because those two characters, and especially Doflamingo, have been built up so very well. We've heard and we've seen Doflamingo so many times before. We've seen him teased here and there. He sometimes appeared and then disappeared. We never really knew who he was. He was always this like weird character with like this coat on and these funky glasses, and he was always laughing funnily. But we've never known who he was. And when that whole arc opened up, the whole Dressrosa arc opened up, and we saw like how cruel Doflamingo's reign over that entire country was. I mean, that just made us feel every single punch Luffy laid on Doflamingo. We really wanted to see Luffy beat Doflamingo, and I feel like that happens with every One Piece villain, so to speak. Oda does a great job with I don't know, just fleshing out the villains, giving us their perspective as well, because we dove into Doflamingo's backstory. We saw where he come from, that he was a celestial dragon, but you know, he's always been like an asshole, to be honest. He's always been like super entitled to the title of celestial dragon. He wanted to abuse his power like every single celestial dragon did until that point. But you know, his dad and his family had other plans, and they didn't want to. They wanted to live a normal life. They wanted to help and, you know, uplift people. And Doflamingo was not a fan of that. So yeah, it was really cool to see like his backstory, his trauma, and you know, everything he went through. But that doesn't change that he's just evil, for the lack of a better word. He is just plain evil. So it was really good to see Luffy just smash his face in with his new gear that was also introduced there, like the Gear 4. We've also never seen. It was so funny the way it was introduced. But yeah, that was really, really cool, and definitely one of my favorite fights in One Piece. King Rigged, his favorite anime scene, I'm so sorry, I'm having trouble to read, is when Luffy punched a celestial dragon. Alright, so another One Piece scene. And speaking of celestial dragons, so the first time we actually heard about all these celestial dragons and what they stood for was on the Sabaody archipel arc, when, you know, all these supernova landed on this island where you have to get your ship coded to go to the Fishman Island. And that's the first time we actually were introduced to celestial dragons. We've never seen them before. We've never heard of them before. We didn't know they existed. But as soon as we saw them, we knew that they were just on a whole nother level of being like evil, of course, but like just that opened up a whole new level to the government and to the world government, because we didn't know that these kind of people existed who basically inherited, I guess like they were part of the founding family or whatever, and they just by birth inherit all this power, which makes them untouchable, to be honest. They can do as they want. They have complete protection from the government, if anybody, so to speak, lays a finger on them, an admiral will appear and he will just kill everybody. So that is insane. That's also super insane that the government is supporting that, but I guess they don't have a choice. It's just part of this entire weird system the government is under. But yeah, so the way these celestial dragons were introduced, you know, them riding into the island like on a slave and just buying slaves and mistreating people and killing people. And then, you know, Luffy, obviously, he would not stand for that. And it all just, it all just climaxed when the celestial dragon started shooting, what's his name? Haku, I don't know, the octopus. And Luffy saw that, and, you know, that moment was so epic. When Luffy punched the celestial dragon, despite everything we've seen before, despite everybody warning him not to, despite people letting him know if he does that, an admiral will appear and kill everybody, he still did it. And when he punched him, and the anime transitioned into the manga panel, which was the original manga panel, so it just turned black and white. Man, that, like, talking about that gives me goosebumps right now. That was such a well orchestrated scene. Like, the build up, and the execution of that scene was just amazing. So that's definitely also one of my favorite scenes. The next anime scene is from Mix Lava. Also, I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing any names. I'm horrible with that, but I apologize, but I really appreciate all your submissions. So his or her favorite anime scene is Rock Lee versus Gaara. So lots of Naruto and One Piece at the moment. And Rock Lee versus Gaara, I guess it has to be, to this day, like, looking back on Naruto, Rock Lee versus Gaara is still, I want to say it's my favorite fight. I mean, you know, I also really, really like Kakashi versus Obito, but Rock Lee versus Gaara was just, it was honestly, in my opinion, was even better than Naruto versus Sasuke and that same, you know, original Naruto series. Even though, you know, Naruto versus Sasuke was like the climax of that entire, you know, season. But man, Rock Lee versus Gaara. So the way it was built up with Gaara being like this invincible character and Rock Lee until that point always coming off as goofy with his bushy eyebrows, his green jumpsuit. We knew he was strong. Like, we've seen him take out Sasuke with ease. We've seen him take out Naruto with ease. So we knew he had skill, but we did not know that he was capable of that. Like, basically beating Gaara. Not entirely. Of course, Gaara had his sand shields and whatever, and in the end, Gaara was able to lay the last blow on Rock Lee. But man, I mean, that fight alone has so many epic scenes, from the way that first the wave that Rock Lee did towards Gaara. That's awesome, like the Bruce Lee wave. And then when Rock Lee dropped his ankle weights, when everybody said, all right, you know, dropping some weights, what's that gonna do? And it just leaves this explosion. That was so cool. And then finally, when Kakashi had to open his Sharingan to keep up with Rock Lee's movement, I mean, that was, at that point, we've never seen anything like that. We've never seen someone with taijutsu that proficient. So seeing like Jonins acknowledge the speed and the just Rock Lee being a specialist in taijutsu was amazing. I want to say it's my favorite fight in Naruto, but I think it's Kakashi versus Obito just because of the history between those two characters. But Rock Lee versus Gaara has to be second place for me. Like, it's so good. I want to say it's first place, but it just, man, So good. Such a good fight. The next scene is from The Crazy, and his favorite or her favorite scene is the United States of Smash. So, for everybody who doesn't know, this is from My Hero Academia. One of the main protagonists is All Might, who's like this, portrayed as this, in season 1 at least, at the beginning, portrayed as this, just idol. Like everybody looks up to this hero who is just standing for ultimate justice, for power, for everything you ever want to be. And then we soon find out that he is not all of that. That is just his, that's just his power, that he inherited, so to speak, and then he gave on. But that scene, the United States of Smash, I rarely ever get goosebumps watching an anime scene. If I get goosebumps, it's definitely epic. It has some meaning to it. And I first saw this scene without ever having watched My Hero Academia. I've still not finished the entire thing. I'm still watching it. But I remember watching this scene for the first time just because it had like a lot of clicks and it was recommended to me. I immediately got goosebumps watching it. Just the sound design, the animation, the way it builds up from him to like first, taking hits and then just powering up and then absolutely demolishing that guy. That is such a cool. The music also, like the music is so underrated in My Hero Academia. It has one of the most epic soundtracks in my opinion in all of anime. So definitely a great submission. Thank you so much for that one. The next submission is from Vanis Gas LD, I suppose, and his favorite scene is in Attack on Titan when Reiner and Berthold transform in front of Eren. Dude, okay, I recently started watching Attack on Titan, and I'm actually currently, I just saw this scene. And, obviously I've seen this scene before. I kind of knew what I was to expect just because I've been making anime videos for so long now. And of course, being on TikTok and so on, I've been spoiled a few times. But I did not, even watching it, I kind of saw Reiner coming. I wasn't, obviously I was surprised, but I wasn't shocked. But I was shocked with Berthold being the colossal titan. I was genuinely shocked. I did not expect that. Attack on Titan is just so great. It has so many unexpected turns and you feel like you cannot trust anybody. And even the most innocent looking characters just turn into the colossal titan all of the sudden, which just leaves your mind blown in the end. So that was so well done. Such an epic moment. The music that kicks in when they transform, man, that is such a good scene. And as I said, so unexpected. I did not expect Berthold to be the colossal titan. The colossal titan that we've seen destroy entire cities. What an epic scene. Attack on Titan is so great. Alright, the next submission is from Walkie Slush. His favorite scene is when Naruto kisses Sasuke intimately. Alright, so Walkie Slush, we have to talk about this one. This is really sus. And I do not think that Naruto kissed Sasuke intimately, even though I do believe that you cannot pronounce Sasuke without saying sus. But yeah, that was such a funny scene. When they, I think that happened in one of the very first episodes when they were still in the academy and, every girl was crushing over Sasuke. He was just sitting there and then Naruto jumped up on the table and stared Sasuke right in the face, trying to figure out who this guy was, what he was up to, why he was always acting like he didn't care. And then, I don't know who, I think it was a insignificant character, but he like pushed Naruto by accident, and then he kissed him, and then all the girls were freaking out because they wanted to kiss Sasuke. And you know, that is just the start of a beautiful friendship, in my opinion. That's when it started, right there. Maybe that's why Naruto just refused to let go of Sasuke, because Sasuke gave him every reason to just drop him. I mean, Sasuke acted like he was willing to kill Naruto's friends, and Naruto still was not willing to let go of Sasuke. And I do believe, you know, maybe Naruto had a crush on Sasuke, you know, just maybe. The next one is from It's Prep Geo. When Hisoka fought God. I've recently done some videos with Hisoka, and you know, I don't have much cosplay material here, so just printed out like the star and like the tear, and then glued it to my face. And I mean, that I don't even know what to say about Hisoka. I cannot defend this guy, but that scene when Hisoka fights Gon, it is so funny because it's so unexpected, right? I mean, I don't know if unexpected, but like, I mean, to this extent, like, it is so weird. It is so weird and so funny at the same time. And all the memes that have been born out of this scene, it's just, you just have to say Gon and everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. So that is so funny to me. Yeah, it's a really good scene. I cannot deny that, but I don't know. I don't know if it doesn't feel right to say it's like my favorite anime scene, but you know, different people have different tastes. I'm not here to judge. The last submission for today is from Nicholas, and his favorite scene is the cycle of hatred from Naruto. So I think that Pain in Naruto is one of the most well-written antagonists, so to speak. The way he has been built up, and the way that it genuinely makes sense what he's saying. That's the scary part. You can see where he is coming from. You can understand what he is saying when there will always be hatred. That hatred and love always coexist. And that what Pain is doing currently by destroying the Leaf Village is no different than Naruto trying to kill Pain for destroying the Leaf Village, which would, in the end, conclude the cycle of hatred, which would then carry on to other people trying to kill Naruto, for trying to kill, you know, it'll just keep on going. So you genuinely understand what Pain means, or Nagato means, and watching his backstory, where he comes from, that his village, Amagakure, has just always been in the middle of conflict, and how his family was killed by people from the Leaf Village. It just, I don't know, I just feel like, yeah, you can generally understand where Pain is coming from, where his pain is coming from, and why he turned into the character that he is, or he was. And then, you know, I genuinely didn't know what Naruto was supposed to do now, and I think even Naruto didn't know what to do now, which is why he felt so helpless, why he even understood Pain, he understood what he meant, and he even admitted that he didn't know what to do. He knew what Pain was doing was wrong, but he also saw that by him wanting to kill Pain, he was just continuing the cycle that Pain was talking about. And, you know, in the end, I guess Naruto was able to break the cycle of Pain by not wanting to kill him, by asking for forgiveness and activating his ultimate talk no jutsu, I suppose, which then convinced Naruto to revive everybody. But But yeah, Naruto is just a really great character. Such a, yeah, I mean, Madara, of course, ended up being, in my opinion, the main antagonist. I don't like the whole Kaguya thing, and, you know, in my opinion, Madara was the main antagonist. And you can also see where Madara was coming from. But I feel like in the end, Madara just turned power hungry. Yeah, sure, he was, you know, he was betrayed, and in the end, he wanted peace, so to speak, or just the illusion of peace. But I feel like you could really feel where Naruto was coming from, what he meant, and yeah, just such a well-written character in my opinion. All right, so that concludes all your submissions. Thank you so much for all these submissions. Thank you so much for everybody on Instagram always participating in the tournament, in all these questions I'm constantly putting out. It just makes the podcast so much more interactive. I love talking to you lately because, you know, my account and my platforms have been growing so much. It's become so much harder for me to interact with you guys and girls. But this, and, you know, being able to read your questions and talk to you in person, it just makes me feel like I'm still able to stay in connection with you, which in the end is everything I want to do. All I ever wanted to do is make you guys smile. And, you know, being able to feature you on the podcast, you know, it means a lot to me, and just it makes me feel like we are very connected. So as I said before, the podcast will be now going live every Monday and I guess Friday. So the next time you're going to hear from me will be on Monday. With that all being said, I wish you a great weekend. I hope you stay swaggy, stay drippy, relax, take your time with friends and family, do something fun, and I will see you back on Monday.
They would never take it from me. They was laughing like something was funny. Now they act bummy when they see me coming, hopping on my dick like bunnies. Wanna piece it up with me now that they see my road is sunny. Bitch, I'm elevated, I'ma need an elevator. Anybody wanna fade up, ain't got time to be debating. I ain't fighting with no beta. Straight up, tell a bitch I see you later. I'm too worried about my paper. I don't even wanna sleep, knee deep into the game. I don't even wanna eat deep rhythms on the page.